This morning we welcome back to the show longtime educator Craig Douglas back for our Educating in Michigan segment. And today we're touching on a few different topics. Let's start off with this one. We haven't talked about this in a minute. Teacher shortages playing a factor in education issues. What's your take on that?
Well, when I retired in 2013, there were shortages in special education, math, and science. And then quickly it pivoted to be all subjects, all grades. And the shortages are real, they're severe, and they're almost universal in terms of across districts, even across states. So the way everybody's trying to approach it is to try and talk up the attributes of teaching. I've said to many people, I've never felt guilty going into education. I've always felt reward. And
it's a very admirable field, yes.
So by being positive that way, for our citizens going to school board meetings and supporting the gist of what's being attempted, because educators today are really, really working hard.
Well, bottom line, how do you fill that gap? What's your suggestion here?
Well, it can't be filled overnight. The gap didn't happen overnight, so it's going to take time. Saginaw Valley State University, where I was dean, privileged to be dean, we had an accelerated certification program that really helped accelerate, no pun intended, certified teachers into the classroom. There are proposals to change the requirements for teaching. I don't know if they have any traction or not, but the bottom line is everybody's trying to put their best thoughts forward to address it.
There are options out there. All right, now let's talk about the issue of standardized testing. Why is that at top of mind for you?
I'm not trying to be anti. I grew up taking standardized tests. You probably did too. But the paradox is this: it takes a lot of effort to test all kids. It used to be the ACT, now it's the SAT. And again, I'm not being negative about it, but that time it's a cost benefit in my mind. Is the cost of time and resources worth the benefit of having the standardized tests? We know that many colleges, not all, but many colleges are moving away from standardized tests as a requirement for admission, because we know the highest predictor of college success is the grade point and the student's involvement in their school.
Yes, the overall look at the student there. And then finally, on top of all that, students are facing unique pressures these days from social media. We're still feeling the ripple effects of the pandemic. Just how do you address mental health challenges with students?
So the social emotional well-being of students is of highest priority. I was on not long ago, and we talked about screen time and the devices that kids are on. And the metric is 3 hours or more a day on devices can yield very, very harmful effects, higher depression and higher anxiety. So social emotional learning has got to be a big priority for all schools at all levels.
It is, and they need those breaks really from social media. And as always, we want your suggestions, questions that you may have for Mr. Douglas. He has great insight that we always appreciate. As always, you can send us an email at goodmorning@abc12.com. And again, we appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and then we'll see you next time for another Educating in Michigan segment.